Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Segun, a career development coach and a customer experience leader over 10 years. You're welcome to our career development webinar where we have on our New Generation Man channel. Thank you once again for tuning in into our weekly webinar. As part of my goals for this year, I'm trying to create to help career professionals and everyone to grow in their career. So in the bid of we're having weekly webinar sessions on career development and everything that has to do with how to and everything else you need. So, but this week, we're going to be focusing rather majorly on how to maintain a healthy work-life balance in a very fast-paced environment where we are in Nigeria and in work life. It's very easy to get caught up, work and not find a way to balance that out. So I felt the need to kind of like have this conversation and just give people knowledge and how they can delve into this topic and also share experiences. So the goal of my channel is just to make sure that everyone have the necessary tools they need, to improve themselves all the time. And for this period, we're trying to focus on career growth and things that you can do along their career. So when I thought about this topic, I tried to reach out to the people in my network that also, are kind of like in my space and that, from time to time, you know, do their own contribution, to develop them themselves and create content. And I thought about YT. So because she also has a YouTube channel where she does something like this and career makeovers for people. So and she's also an outstanding HR professional with years of experience. So when I decided to have the conversation, I felt that okay, she'll be the right person to have this conversation with. So without further delay, I would like to introduce my guest. And just as a quick backstory, we did also meet on a platform on the LinkedIn training that I paid for. And I'm really, really grateful for that opportunity because I was able to connect with a lot of experienced professional in diverse fields and also, learn from them. So we'll talk a bit about that also, and we'll also get right into the topic. So without further delay, I'd like to introduce my fellow colleague and friend in the career development space, YT, so that she can share what she has with us today regarding how to maintain a work-life balance. Thank you so much for doing this. You have the floor now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shego. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to ask you to please share what I sent to you because my
Okay.
system is kind of slow. I don't know. So that's why I
Oh,
sent that PDF
oh,
because
okay.
the
Yeah, you can.
PowerPoint was.
Okay. Okay, so I should just share my
So
screen so that you'll be able to.
yes, yes,
Okay, no,
exactly,
no problem.
exactly.
I can do that. Just give me a second. And again,
Okay.
thank you for making out the time. And from what I can see on the slide, it looks,
Yes.
very detailed. And I can't wait for us to get into it. Okay, can you
Thank
see
you.
my screen now?
Um. No, no, not yet. Okay, it's loading.
Okay.
It's loading. Okay, I can see your screen now.
Okay, good. Let me try
Okay,
and
so
expand it uh, so that our audience have the best view.
yeah,
Okay. So, okay, yeah. Is this clear enough for everyone?
yeah, it's clear for me.
For you? Okay. So I'll
It's
just
clear.
keep going along page by page. So let's start
Okay.
from the first page. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Like Segun said, I am Yinlaye Fathom Thompson, YT for short, and my passion is because I've been in HR for over 10 years, and I've worked with different kinds of people of all levels. And there's one common thing that I see, which is that employees, as an employer, as an employee, you can't be fulfilled. You know, in this time of where people say they see everybody wants to own something, own a business, or if you're not owning your own business, if you're not an employer, then nothing. And I've seen firsthand how employees tend to like They just believe that it is not possible to have a happy, balanced life, probably because of misconceptions and all. In fact, that's what has um, like driven me over the past years to like start something that will help people see themselves differently, see their work as part of them, see their life as part of their work. Your work is not separate from your life, and everything is a process. If you're going to own a business today, if you do not have structure, your business cannot stand. And so those are one of the things that working gives you. So then there is also the balance part where people feel um it cannot balance. Like you cannot have it all. You cannot work and you cannot be working for somebody and then you're okay. There's just that thing there. So, but like you have seen on your screen now, when we talk about work-life balance, what comes to mind? What comes to your mind? I'm going to throw that question out. When we talk about work-life balance, what comes to your mind? If anybody can unmute and answer, when you hear work-life balance, what do you instantly think about?
Hybrid work.
Hybrid. Okay. Okay, hybrid work. Great. So who else? What do you think about when you hear work-life balance?
For me, I would say relaxing when it's needed. That is when you've worked, you need to also relax. That's what I think.
Cool. Cool. So you're both right. You're both right. Work-life balance entails this whole thing. But work-life balance is not equal to equal time between work and life. No. Work-life balance is alignment with your values, your needs, and rhythm. The first person said work-life balance is hybrid work. Now, I do hybrid work right now. It wasn't always like that. I used to work every day of the week, but right now I do hybrid work and it serves me. Now, if I didn't have kids or if I didn't have a family, I wouldn't want to do hybrid work because I know myself. I like structure. You understand? So for you, that is it. So that is why I have a model. I'm going to bring this topic to you with a three-component model I created that I call the red model. So because I like structure, I want us to see it wholly differently from how it's been. Work-life balance cannot be defined by somebody else for you. You have to know yourself. What are your values? What are your priorities? What are your goals? So your balance, your alignment for today may not be what will keep you tomorrow. So I'm going to share also how I was able to, because it hasn't always been like that. There was a point where I was like, my God, I was sleeping and I woke up and the first thing that came to my mouth, that came out of my mouth was the name of the company I was working at the time. And my husband was just beside me and he was like, what is this? You know, because I wasn't able to compartmentalize. I wasn't able to prioritize what, to compartmentalize and prioritize what I needed to do at what time. So I was burnt out. I was burnt out. And that is what not having alignment, not understanding your personal needs does for you. So, like you see here, the balance myth. Understand that work-life balance is not about apportioning equal. You see, like this picture here, you have your family, your work, your worship. For those of us that are Christians or Muslims, yeah, you have time for religion, sports, recreation, leisure, your business. So these are all different parts of our lives. These are all different parts of our lives that makes us whole. Do you do everything at the same time? No. But does everything bring fulfillment to you? Yes. So for me, work-life balance is making all this work in a way that I am aligned to my own career goals. So that may mean that today I am working on maybe I'm employed somewhere, I'm working for instance, my 9 to 5. Within that period, I'm working there. And that may also mean on Sunday, I'm going to church and I'm worshiping God. That may also mean that I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping. Sleeping is not a waste of time. It is part of the whole ecosystem of your life. So you need to prioritize every aspect of it and make it work for you. So I'm going to now break it down using the red model. Please move on to the next slide. Yes. So I'm starting with rationale. Rationale is the first component of the red model. R for rationale, E for execution, and D for denouement. So what is rationale? Rationale is your why. Why do we feel so off balance? Why do we feel off balance? Is a question that you need to ask yourself. Is a question that you need to ask yourself. So we often feel um we often define balance in terms of time, like how many hours we go to work, how many hours we go to do our different things, then how many hours we rest, how many hours we take for family and the rest. Well, true balance, like I've said, isn't about splitting those hours into, these different compartments. When we ignore ourselves or our needs, what we're telling ourselves and our bodies is that you're not important. You're not important. So understand that you are your foundation. You are your foundation. If the foundation of a building crumbles, what happens to the whole building? You can't stand. Your career, your life, your business, every other thing is on you. So it is you first. It is you first. So you can see here, I said external pressure plus internal disconnection leads to chaos. That's when we experience burnout because we are giving into the external pressures. We are allowing those things. We are giving into them. But being busy doesn't always mean whole or doesn't always mean you're going forward. There's a time for everything, and we need to understand that. And it has to be planned. It's not something that just happens. It's not something that just happens. It has to be planned for your life, and you understand what are your priorities, what are your goals, what do I need to do right now. For me, I do it is a weekly thing for me. I go into my week with a plan. On Sundays, most times I ask myself, and I will go into all that. I ask myself, okay, what do I need to, where am I neglecting? You have to be intentional about it. You have to be intentional about it. And like someone said, if it's that you need hybrid work to function optimally, then you look for such situations. You know, I said before, I use myself as an example. I was working full time Monday to Friday, like on site fully. But when it got to a point where I knew I couldn't do that anymore. I had to make a request for that. And thankfully, I was granted. So that is what happens when you plan yourself. Work-life balance doesn't just happen. And you don't think that it is about equating every aspect of your life. No, shift more towards the balance. It is about that, like making everything work for you, making everything work for you. So in rationale is where you understand, you need to ask yourself, what is giving you stress? What is making you feel burnout? What is making you feel overwhelmed? You need to ask yourself those questions. Where is it coming from? Why do I feel so off balance inside? Why do I feel that way? Why am I feeling that way? So if it's your work, break down how your work is. What are you doing? What are you overdoing? What is that thing you need to delegate? This is a stage where you ask yourself those questions. Self-reflection and self-awareness is the very first basic to understanding how to attain a healthy work-life balance. So now we're going to move. We have asked ourselves, we've asked, yes, thank you. So the next component of my red model is execution. This is where you now do the things that you need to do after finding out where the burnout is coming from, after finding out where the overwhelm is coming from, finding out where you are losing balance. This is the stage where you now need to act, execution, where you're rebuilding from inside out. Now, I always say it, that you are your foundation. You are your foundation. You are your foundation. If you crumble, so I look at it as, like I said before, I ask myself every week, what part of me is being neglected? What part of me did I neglect the previous week? What do I need to do to improve on? So I want you to look at this in these four anchors: the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, and the physical. So in the spiritual, you're looking at, are you centered? Are you connected to something bigger than the house, than the noise? Now, if you're a Christian, you would understand that whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, if you believe that there is a higher power, if you believe that you're connected to a higher source, for me, it works all the time. Sometimes you don't understand it, you don't have clarity, you don't know what is going on, you're just so off balance. If you can come to that spiritual place where you align yourself, where you are like, okay, what do I need to do in me, what do I need to do, you find peace, you find clarity. So I'm sharing my own practical experience of how I'm able to achieve work-life balance. So for the spiritual anchor is a very powerful anchor and like a foundational anchor. And we're also looking at the your mental state, your mental clarity. Are your thoughts clear, or are you running on autopilot? I don't know if we know what autopilot, we all know what autopilot is. Like, you're moving. If you have driven for a long time, if you have been driving for a long time, you know that you don't need to ask yourself when you're about to hit something. You don't need to begin to crack your brain. You know your leg is automatically going to the brakes. That is autopilot. You're just going. You're not thinking. I wake up in the morning, I have my bath, and you're just going and going. No form of reflection, no even personal anything. You're just going. This is a mental challenge and this is a mental problem. You have to be clear in your head. Be clear in your head and be intentional about every step you take moving forward. Another powerful anchor is your emotional well-being, emotional honesty. Are you allowing yourself to feel what you feel? You know that sometimes you take on jobs, you take on volunteer, they'll tell you volunteer, as a career person, you have to volunteer to grow, you have to, yes, very good, very good. These things are very good. But sometimes you take on more than you can chew. You take on more than you can handle because you feel you should do them. But have you stopped to consider, is this what I need to do right now? Is this going to work for me or against me? Is this going to bring me burnout? Is this going to, ask yourself these questions. And also the physical anchor. Exercising is very important. You don't have to go to the gym. You can, just walking alone. I love to walk. Sometimes in the office, during breaks, I just go out and take a walk around the block. If it's not too sunny, I just take a walk because it frees me. It allows me to, unload. So these things are very important. And your physical well-being, your emotional well-being, your mental well-being, your spiritual well-being all form the four anchors of having a balanced life. So it's not just about work, work, work. It's about you first. If you're not well, there's no work. If you're not well, there's no work. So please take it to the next slide. Let's move on so I can move on as fast as I can. So I want you to do that before I want you to do that. Ask yourself every week. You can do that daily when you, at the end of the day, ask yourself, where have I neglected? What part of my life have I neglected? Is it the spiritual part? Is it the emotional? What do I need to work on? When you begin to ask yourself those questions, answers will begin to come. So like I said before, part of execution is also undertaking small sustainable shifts. Like I told you about volunteering, which is very good, but pause before saying yes. When people ask of favors, please help me do this. I can't, please help. Pause before saying yes. Don't always go for yes. Don't be the yes man. It's very okay to say no. Don't take on more than you can handle. Then create margins in your day. What does that mean? For me, it is allocating time. If you have, okay, I want to do this for 1 hour, make sure you do it for 1 hour and move on to the next. Don't overdo anything. Pace yourself, give yourself time, and also talk to someone. If you're feeling overwhelmed, I mean, or you're feeling that everything is not working, the balance is not going well, you can talk to somebody and okay, like you're doing this kind of a program, coming for things like this to hear how you can actually achieve this thing that seems like it's so hard because of Lagos traffic and the remaining, everything is just too much. The cost of living, everything. Some people are doing 2 jobs. Please don't neglect your well-being. Don't neglect you. If you're not okay, you cannot be balanced. You cannot be balanced. That's the first thing. You can't be balanced. And then honor rest, like you honor work. As you're allocating time for work, allocate time for rest, because rest is like you are recreating yourself. Do you know that sometimes when you sleep, if you have a challenge, maybe you're going through you have a challenge, and then you sleep. Have you ever heard people say, "Let me sleep on it"? You rest. By the time you come, you're awake. Sometimes you're clearer, and then you can think better. That is what rest does. That is what rest does. But if you had kept on pushing at that moment, no, 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 I want the answer now. What would you have done? You would have ended up going around circles, and you would have been tired, and you wouldn't have achieved what you wanted to achieve. So honor rest like you honor work. Understand that rest is not more powerful than work. If you are overworking, you are not any different from somebody that is sleeping too much, because in the end you are both on extreme ends and you will not achieve anything tangible. You will not achieve anything tangible. So honor rest like you honor work. On to the next slide, please. Yes. So your denouement. What is your denouement? Some of us may have come across this word, some of us may have not. It's just a fancy word for the final outcome. It's a fancy literary term. People in the movies, people that do home movies, they know this term. So it's like the final outcome. What happens after everything, after all is said and done? What is my ideal? How do I want my life to look? That is the denouement in this 3-component red model. And this is where you see, you're not just, understand that you're not just managing time, you are managing yourself. So become the architect of your energy, your attention, and your well-being. Like I have said before, don't just manage your time. Protect your alignment. Protect your alignment, because you are the foundation. If you crack, everything else crumbles. Everything else crumbles. So understand this, that know your ideal. That's why I asked the question in the first place. What is work-life balance to you? When you hear the term work-life balance, what is it to you? So what I want you to take home today is that work-life balance is not just about the work, it's about your life. It is about your life. Because if you are not You're working, yes, but if you are not okay, you cannot be balanced. Imagine someone going through emotional trauma that doesn't concern work. Do you think that that person can achieve anything at work? Even though they may, they may be able to do their work, but they will not feel okay. They will not be okay because personally their life is in shambles. So that is why I want you to redirect your mindset when you hear the term work-life balance. It's not about work. It's about you managing, protecting your alignment. You're not just thinking about your time, but your life as a whole. What is an ideal life for you as a career person, as a professional? What is your ideal? You work towards it. Give yourself time. Pace yourself. Understand who you are, understand what you want, and then design how to achieve those things. Don't go. Yes, there are times where you push yourself. Like me being here, I pushed myself because I'm coming in from another meeting and here. There are times where you do that. Why? Because you have a goal, right? You have a goal. So that is not to say that you shouldn't push yourself. That is not to say that you shouldn't go beyond your comfort zone. But listen to your body. When you need rest, rest. When you need to shut down, shut down. When you need to say no, say no. Don't just go like a soldier man that does not hear come. Just understand that it is about you, your well-being, your well-being. Someone said work-life balance is hybrid work. That's part of it. Yes, that person understands what I want. This is what I want to. This is what I feel is okay for me. Yes, that is it. So even in the hybrid work, if you do not, if you are not able to structure your time properly, you will not achieve much, even working from home. Do you believe that? Do you know that it's sometimes more difficult to be structured when you are working from home? Yes, because when you lie down on your bed and your laptop is on your leg and you're working, what happens to your body? So on this, so it's not, it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. It's work-life balance starts with you and ends with you. That is what the mindset shift I hope that I'm able to bring to you today. Understand that it's not just about your time, it's your well-being. Align yourself with your greater good, who you are. Yes. Thank you so much. If you have any questions or comments, you can come in with that. Thank you.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much. I love the way you broke it down. You really broke it down to various sections and were able to cover, what work-life balance really means. And I like the fact that you said that you make it about yourself. It's not about the work.
Exactly.
Because a lot of
Exactly.
times when you say work-life balance, people are always thinking about work. I know it's about
Exactly.
you. You need to be balanced to be able to do the work. So
Yes.
I love the way you actually really put it because you are right. When people hear work-life balance, they always think work, and it's not about work.
Mm,
It's about you. You need to be
yes.
balanced for you to be able to do the work. So I really love that point. Thank you so much. So I think someone had their hand up. I think that was Femi. You had a
Okay.
question. So can you go ahead and unmute and ask a question? Thank you.
Sorry, it was a mistake. I
Okay.
mistakenly tapped.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's fine. Okay, so but yeah, does anyone have any contribution? Victor, is there anything that you'd like to add, regarding work-life balance? Because I think, she really, did justice to the topic, really guiding us to what it's about. But yeah, suggestions and, comments are welcome. Does anyone have, anything to add?
Yeah. Yeah, fair. What, right?
Yinlaye Fa.
Honestly, you are amazing. You
Oh,
are,
thank you so much.
you
Thank
did
you.
a fantastic job in breaking down work-life balance. I
Thank
just
you.
had a very different perspective to it today and a thorough understanding. All thanks to you. You made
Thank
me
you.
understand it is about me, not the work. It starts from me. Thank you
Yes.
so much. This is highly insightful.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Great, great. Thank you for that beautiful comment. Thank you. This is why I
Okay,
do what I
okay, that's
do.
good. So
Yes.
yeah. I'm going to share your LinkedIn profile now on
Okay.
the chat so that those that don't follow you can do that. She also shares amazing content also. So please make sure you follow her on LinkedIn, and she also has a YouTube channel just like mine. So please do well to subscribe. I also share the link to her LinkedIn on her YouTube on my support community, so that you all can also get to see what she's doing and also support her. So like I said, she also does talk about career also, and considering she's also a human resource professional with over 10 years experience, definitely she does have something to offer us. But based on the justice or the deed of this topic, we might have to bring you back. But I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Thank you so much. Okay,
Okay.
Victor.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
Victor
welcome.
has his hand raised. So Victor, you want to
Okay.
ask something?
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Yinlaye. I think I got
Yeah.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
think it's really interesting that you brought that perspective to our attention. Regarding the meaning of work-life balance, and I really appreciate that perspective. So I have, I think, one question and one contribution. So I'll start with my first question, and I'm going to be asking this because of your HR experience and expertise. So in situations where you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, with work, or you're unable to find that balance, how would you advise that an employee approaches their manager, their supervisor, their boss, or whatever? How do you think they can uh, have that conversation and sort of get a positive response out of it, if you know what I mean? Are there
Yeah, I understand.
tricks to it? Are there things to look out for? Are there particular times, that you should watch out for before you can make that request, or you shouldn't just care? You shouldn't care as long as you're going through that rough patch. Just barge into your boss's office and tell them, you know what, it's either my life or this job. So that's my the question part. Then the other part of it is, I'm just thinking about people that are sort of that are working in jobs where they don't have a choice. They need that job. They need that money. Uh, they really don't have plenty options or alternative. They just have to be on that job. And for some unfortunate reasons, they don't have a compassionate boss. They don't have, even the culture there is next to zero, but they have to hold down that job for whatever reason that's personal to them. Maybe their life even depends on it. So how would you navigate, how would you advise professionals that are in that situation, they can't leave the job. It's like the devil and the Red Sea, isn't it? They can't leave the job. They just have to survive, at it. So
Yeah.
if there's any way if there's any advice you have for them for the job not to take their lives, I would really love for you to share that with us. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Victor. Thank you. So sorry, I'm coming. Let me plug my laptop.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So your first question, let me start with your first question. You were saying how, if you're overwhelmed at work, how do you go to your boss, and if there's a timing and everything? Okay. So like I said, firstly, you need to understand first your overwhelm. What is your overwhelm? Is it your working hours? Is it your job description? Is it that the volume of tasks you do is much? Where is your overwhelm coming from? So you need to ask yourself first that question. When you are able to determine where this overwhelm is coming from, where the burnout is coming from, then, because when you're talking with your bosses, business owners, you need to think like a business owner, like a CEO. What is important to them? Bottom line. The important thing to every business owner is that I'm making profit and I'm sustaining my business. So you need to come to them with that mindset. You're in this role. This is what you do. So if your burnout is coming from, let's say, working hours, understand, okay, your working hours at work. This is what I do. This is what I produce. This is what this is the volume of work I produce. This is how valuable it is to the company. Understand that process, and then you need to come to your bosses with proof that reducing your work hours on site will not reduce your productivity. It will not affect your productivity in any way. And if you can even prove that it will improve your productivity, then you have something to hold. You need to they need to know that you care for this business. You care for the business. It's not that you don't want the business to work out, but it's no longer working for you the way it is. And if it's that your workload has become too much, break it down. Is it that you took on somebody else's role, maybe when they resigned or something? Because it happens when people resign, they will not employ any other person. They will just start sharing their sharing the JD for different people, adding workload without any form of increase of, or even acknowledging that this person is going to do more. We see that a lot. But if you're able to bring, if this is what has happened to you, or for instance, like for me, I became HR manager when we are about let's say 15 or 13 branches, and right now we are over 20 branches. So if I'm having, definitely work has increased. Definitely everything is more complicated. But if I'm going to my boss for instance, when I was going to have for this, reducing my on-site work time, it wasn't something that has ever happened before. But I had to bring it to her that, look, it's not reducing my productivity. In fact, it's going to increase it. Because you know what happens now? I'm working, if I were at work 8 to 5, 8 o'clock, that's when work starts. 5 o'clock, I've closed. Nobody can talk to me. If you call me at that time, I can even tell you. But when I'm working from home, I realize that the stress has reduced. So I'm even more amenable to working beyond, to attending to matters beyond time. And she experienced that, and I knew that, okay, this is working. Your business owner has to understand that this is not going to hurt my business in any way. So yes, you analyze that your situation and let your business, your boss know that it's not going to affect their bottom line. In fact, it will improve it. That's the way you should look at it. And there's always a timing too. Don't go when they just shouted on somebody or when they just queried somebody. There's a timing to it too, yes. Then for your second question, for those that are in places where they don't have a choice and it's killing them, look, this is where continuous learning comes. You need to assess your current state, assess where you are. If your skill sets, your qualifications is not allowing you live where you are, please, you need to work on it. Because some people join somewhere maybe with O levels or with a certain, and they've been getting promotion or they've been getting increase in salary and all. And if they want to leave, they're not able to get something good or something better. They can't even leave to anywhere because over the years they did not improve themselves in any way. So you are the one tying yourself if you neglect continuous learning. And it's not just about paying. You can learn, like here, you're learning, you're opening up your mindset, you're opening yourself up, network, meet people. Sometimes your help will come from unlikely places. And one thing that always works for me is prayers. I know that some of us may not be Christians or we don't go, but God knows you. For me, it works. Let me tell you something. I have never gone to my boss for salary increase. Never. But at the point where I need it, where I believe that it is time, do you know what happens? I go to my God and I pray. And she will just call me. No appraisal, no like anything. You just say, you are due. It's time for increase. I'm telling you. So these things happen. So if you're a Christian, leverage your God. Don't just leverage your network, leverage the higher power. That person, the God, your Almighty Father, knows you better than you know yourself, and he knows your boss better than you know yourself. It's not a typical career advice, but it's something that works for me, and I will give it out free of charge to anybody that cares to listen. So for that person, you need to assess your current situation and make yourself of high value so that other people will look for you to employ you. And if it's something that is killing you, you can please plan your exits. I know that many people are in jobs that they don't like. Don't just relax or sit down there and say, I can't get anything better. At least try. At least try. Give it. It's not going to be easy, but in the end, by the time you get it, it will be well worth it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love those perspectives. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, all right, all right. Thank you so much for the time, and I like the way you answered the question about for those that are not in their current jobs that they don't like, and that's actually the goal of some of the webinar series I'm trying to do, and everything
Yes.
I'm doing career next level is because I know that because I've actually been there too, where I was in a job, and I was just going to the job every day because I don't have a choice. The motivation was not there, nothing was there. I just and the work was very tasking. But what did I do? I kept improving myself. I kept improving myself.
Exactly.
And with time, an opportunity came. So I don't want to go into the whole story, but that key thing that you mentioned about improving yourself is important because it's when you improve yourself and you increase in your skill, that's when other people will see your value
Yes,
to
exactly.
attract it. So, but although another thing is that sometimes, maybe during your current work, you see other people resigning, getting better offers, and you're like, hey, God, when? Do you understand?
Amen.
Just come. It's not about that. Your own time is going to come. And what I
Exactly.
also try to tell people
Yes.
is that your journey is different, your timing is different, and everybody's time is different. Just because they got a better offer and they left, that does not mean it's your time. And that better offer in quotes that you think that they got and they are going,
Exactly.
do you know what they are facing there?
I'm telling
so
you.
so you
I'm
really don't
telling
really
you.
you really don't don't judge a book by its cover and don't compare your journey with another person.
Any other
Okay,
person.
so that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of trying to create this support community where we can have such conversations and people can actually take out these learnings and they should also see that you are not alone. Okay, this thing that you're experiencing, other people have experienced it and have overcome it. Do you understand?
Wow.
And it's just the way of supporting people. So thank you so much for the time. We're going to be rounding up shortly. Just to reiterate, I'm Segun Basharun. For those that joined in late, I'm a career professional with over 10 years experience in customer experience, and I'm also a career coach. I help young professionals to discover their talent, be the best version of themselves, and also get career clarity in anything that they're doing. The reason why I also host this weekly webinar. So if you need help with maybe your CV review, resume revamp, LinkedIn optimization, or you have a public speaking engagement regarding career related topics, I'm your person. So if you have anything regarding that, please feel free to reach out to me through my support community or on LinkedIn. And also, I've also shared our speakers' LinkedIn profile. So please let's all try and follow her. She also has a newsletter. Please let's also try and subscribe where she also posts some of these thoughts from time to time. Then she also has a YouTube channel also. Please let's subscribe so that we can support what she's doing and we can grow. So the goal is for us to all grow together, learn and improve and be better. Okay. So I'll be stopping the recording shortly, and the recording of this will also be available on my YouTube channel. So please feel free to share to your friends maybe that were not here, because I think these insights are very important and it's going to help a lot of people to give them that clarity that they need to move forward in their careers. Thank you all so much for joining this particular session, and let's have a great week. Thank you guys. All right.
Bye.